Hey, hi everyone, this is Admin from Admin 365, and today we are going to talk about how to create users in bulk in Office 365 using PowerShell. So let's get started. Before we start the topic, a small introduction about me. I currently work as Microsoft 365 support ambassador for Microsoft. Our day-to-day routine is to take care of service requests created around Microsoft 365 products and services. So please do consider subscribing for exclusive content and the resolutions for common issues with Office 365. And let's resume the topic. For us to be able to create users with PowerShell, we will need a CSV file to be created with all the columns in it, with all the information in it. I will show you an example of how a CSV should look. And as you can see here, we have different tabs which specify different parameters to be filled for the user account. So UPN is just, you can name it anything, it's just for your understanding. And according to what you name, you will have to modify the PowerShell command for it to be able to fetch that information from the CSV file. So as you can see, these are two users which I want to create on my Office 365 tenant, and their contact information has a title which I can add it here. So office phone and mobile phone, office address, country, and license, and the display name. The license part, if you want to create a user with a specific license, you will have to know the license name in terms of PowerShell. Frames which you see before the colon, it's basically the company name which I have on the tenant, followed by the pack, which is developer E5, which I'm going to assign it to the user account. It all depends. If you have a different license, you will have to know what it is called. You can do it via PowerShell as well. I will show you how exactly as well. Let's see what are the parameters available when which we can add when we create a user. So as you can see here, we are in the Office Admin Center in active users, and for example, if we click on this user here, we'll see that it requires a username. And if you scroll down, you will see the contact information for the users as well. First name, last name, display name, job title, department, anything you want to be added to the user when at the time of the creation, you can pick it as well. And you can create a column in the CSV representing that particular tab here. And once you do it, we can go to the license tab. We can assign the license which we want. We can select the usage location. It has to be done when we assign a license, so that has to be included in the command. Let's go back to the PowerShell. Let's see the parameters there. The contact information which we see there does not represent the same in the PowerShell. You will have to check what exactly it is called in terms of PowerShell, because it may or may not be different. So for example, you just have to first connect to MSOL, which is Office Admin Center, using PowerShell. So open a PowerShell, run it as an administrator, and to connect to Office Admin Center, you can run this command first, followed by this command and this command. Basically, after this command, it will prompt you for the admin email address and password. Go ahead and add a global admin, followed by the password, and then you should be connected. Now for us to get the license name first when we create a user, you can check if you have any users on the tenant already with the license which you want on the new user. For example, if the ABC user has E5 license, so I can do a query on ABC user to know what license it has and what it is called in terms of PowerShell. So I will do get hyphen MSOL user and hit the tab key. User principal name, and it should be abc at the domain.com, and type fl. So any parameter which we want to see, we can add type fl or select. Basically, putting a star at the start and the end means that you don't know the term exactly, and it might have something at the beginning and the end. So we will hit enter, and as you can see, yes, it does not have anything named license. It has licenses here, and you will be able to get the name from here under licenses. It's prems, which is basically the company name followed by the license name. So you can copy it and paste it in the Excel file, same way which you have seen here. And all the other parameters which you want, you can search for them using the same format. For example, you want to check the phone, you hit enter, you see all the phone number, and then you can take that parameter and put it in the command. So the command which we're going to use is this one. This is the main command which will help us to create the user and use the CSV file to input all the information. So as you can see, new MSOL user principal name, and this means that it will go to the CSV file and take that information from there, followed by display name. It will go to that column and will take it from the Excel, followed by title, phone number, office, country, mobile phone. Also the part which you see after is the one which you name it to be. So if you see it UPN here, it's because I have used UPN here. If you use user principal name, you will have to replace the user principal name in here. And as you can see, we have display name. The commands which you see with hyphen are the commands which PowerShell accept and has a parameter for it. And so this is the parameter and this is the value for it. Again, this is the parameter and this is the value for it to be fetched from the CSV file. And we can add n numbers of parameters in here and give it data from the CSV file. It has to be in the same manner. If you have a common parameter, you can use it like this for all of the users. But if you want it to be selected from the CSV again, then you will have to create a column here with a name, usage, location. And once you create it, you will have to do the same $_ dot followed by the name of it, which would be UL in my case. And the license agreement, again, it would be $license, which again would go here and fetch the same. But if you want the user to be on the same license, then you can use quotes and put this information, which would be common for all. And as you can see, we have hyphen password here, which is, in my case, I have used common for all. But if you want them to have different password, again, you can create a column for that, replace it with $_ dot and the column name so that it can fetch it from the column. So as you can see, the first command for us to be able to run this would be the parameter where it will store all the information of the CSV, and this is the part where we have CSV file located on. For example, let me just take the first name, the parameter, and it should be in the same format as I mentioned. And what I will do is I will add more. So it does not depend where you place it. It just have to be in the command and between these two brackets. So I will paste that here and put hyphen at the start and followed by $_ period and the name which I will call it in the CSV file. So I will just call it fn first name, and we'll go into the CSV file and create a new tab fn and give it a name xa. Once you have saved the file, you just have to go to the location where you have saved to get the path of it. And in my case, I have it on the desktop in a folder. I will go to the folder, select this from the top, and you can see the path. It should have the entire path from the C drive or any location it is on. So you can copy it and go to the command. The command is pretty simple, $user. Could be anything after dollar. It just stores the value from the CSV file, equal to import -csv -path, and in quotes, and in this we will have the path where we have the book and followed by the book name as well. So it would be book dot book 2 dot CSV. So after you have completed this, you can just go back to the PowerShell, right click on it, hit enter, and now it has the value in it. So we can check it by running only this. As you can see, it has the user information which we had on the CSV file, and do make sure that the parameter which you have used is the same because it has the information. And we will just copy and paste this in the PowerShell. Okay, let me copy it. And we will hit enter. Okay, it says that it needs a strong password. That's fine. It was a simple password. We will add the password which it wants, or any random password, or if you have the list of the password which is different, as I mentioned, you can have a separate column for it with -password. And we will go back and we will run this command again and we'll check the behavior. Perfect. As you can see, it has created the user with this password, with this user principal name, with this display name, and it is licensed. And we will check the command and it will let us know the information which we have added in the CSV. Okay, and there you go. You can see the information as well as the first name which we have added. You can see that it has took that as well from the CSV first name, and followed by all the other parameter and the licenses as well. And if we go back to the admin center, we will see that particular user there. We will see the two users which we have created, and as you can see, ABC1 is here with the information E5, and XYZ would also be here, and XYZ1 here as well. So if we click on it, it will show us that it has a license assigned which we wanted it to have, and we will see the contact information as well as the first name which we have just added in the CSV file. So this is basically the command. You can add n numbers of parameters as I mentioned, so go ahead and do that. If you want to change certain parameters after you have added it for the user in bulk, then we have a way as well. So for the command for that is basically this. I have it here. Again, you will need a CSV file, and followed by having all the columns which you want to modify, and a mandatory column having user principal name. So as you can see, I have here set command and not new command. Set command is used to change it, and new command is used to create. And as you can see, set MSOL user, and this would be used to detect the user account which it wants to change, and followed by the title, phone number, office number, and the mobile phone as well. You should be able to change the password, you should be able to change the license, but for license I would recommend to do it from the portal. But anything else in contact information you should be able to do. We'll just modify the book and we will check the behavior of it after we run the set command. So this was the display name. We will give it a display name which would be XY, which would be recognizable, and ABBB. This would be the first name which we want to change for the user, and only include the parameters which you want to touch in the PowerShell command. If it is in the Excel file, it does not affect, but if you have it in the PowerShell command, then it will fetch the information from the Excel file and try to change it. So do make sure that you are using only the parameters which you want to be affected or changed. So office phone number, we will change it to something big so that it will be recognizable. Okay, so we have changed two things, FN and office number, and we'll go to the command here. So we basically can get rid of the title because we don't want to change it, but we want to change the office phone. So office phone parameter takes the input from the phone number. So in the PowerShell it is called phone number, but on the browser you will see it as office. Please make a note about that. And as you can see, office phone has to be changed. Office address is nothing that we want to be touched, and we just need the display name to be changed. So the first name. Again, it has to be in the same format which you saw in the PowerShell. So if you go back to the PowerShell, it should be in the same format. Capital and small does not matter. First name followed by $_period and the tab name which we have here. So FN. Perfect. So these two will be changed in the user account using the set command, and before that we'll save the CSV file and we'll close it. So this basically, as I mentioned, will store all the information from the CSV file on that path with that name into the $user parameter. So let's copy this, and you can change it to a $1 to avoid confusion. Okay, we'll hit enter. We'll remove this to check the information which we have stored in it, and as you can see, it fetched everything from the Excel file, which even the parameters which we don't want to change, but that's fine. We will run this command and it will only touch the information which we want and set it. We'll make it user one as well. Do make sure that whatever you change here, you will have to change it here as well, because it takes the information from there. This would be the command, and it should get all the information from the parameter which we just saw and which we have edited in the CSV file, and then change for the user who already exists in Office 365. So we'll hit enter. Okay, it need me to go out of and enter. Perfect. As you can see, the command was ran successfully. We'll check the information for the user which we had it ran on, and we'll check the phone number, and you can see this phone number has changed, the one which we have added in the Excel file, and with the first name as well, which we had in the Excel CSV file. And if we go back to the admin center and check those users, you will see that we were able to change the information, the phone number and the display name. And as I mentioned, you can go ahead and change the parameters which you want using the same set of commands, which is here. You can take a screenshot or pause the screen. It is pretty simple command. You can create it by your own, add something in there if you want, or run it as I have shown you here. So this was the one to create new user. You can pause your screen if you want, and these were the ones to change for the existing user. And it all works once you have connected your PowerShell to the Microsoft Admin Center using these 3 commands. So there you go, guys. If you have any question, doubt, you can drop it in the comment section.